Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Okay, we're ready. So today I'm going to present to you Beerus, which is the Starknet Lite client written in Rust. So I'm going to present myself. My name is Paul-Henry Kajfasz. I'm French. I'm from Paris. I'm a Starknet core developer. I'm also the Beerus team leader, and I'm a Ethereum Protocol Fellowship fellow. So firstly, to understand why Beerus, we firstly need to understand also what is Starknet. So Starknet is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, where we leverage zero knowledge proofs and a proprietary language that we call Cairo, which is a provable programming language. So the goal for Starknet is basically to scale Ethereum through reducing gas cost and increasing transaction throughput on the network. So what is a light client and what is it so cool? So it's very important firstly to understand, so what is a node? Like what is actually a blockchain? A blockchain is basically a distributed database. It's a database where a lot of people support it by running a type of software on their computer. This type of software is called a client. So you download it and you run it, and this software enables you to interconnect all these computers around the world, and you support this database that we basically call a blockchain. And there's different types of clients that you can download on your computer. You have full nodes, archive nodes, and light nodes. This is an example for Ethereum, and these are the most used for now. So if you look at full nodes or archive nodes, you need a lot of computation. So you need like 4-core CPU, 1 terabyte to 3 terabyte SSD, 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's very, very computationally intensive. And it costs a lot of money to maintain. So it's about, let's say, 1K to be able to run that. So it also prevents the scaling of the Ethereum blockchain, but it also prevents decentralization. So that's a massive problem for the network. And so people way smarter than myself, like Vitalik Buterin or Justin Drake or Tim Beko or other people even, have thought about how can we continue scaling the Ethereum network. And so basically one thing that has come out is a light node. A light node is basically an idea of how can we enable mass adoption of the blockchain networks by enabling everybody to run a node. And that only requires an internet connection and a very, very small amount of storage. And so why do we need light clients? One of the massive things that we don't really realize is that on the blockchain, one of the massive philosophies of the blockchain is the trustless ecosystem. If you read the Bitcoin white paper or any of the white papers of the big blockchain, like Ethereum or anything, you will see that the word trustless is at the core of the blockchain. Because it's basically what enables us to interact with each other without having to trust each other. And that basically makes a sane ecosystem. But right now, we're breaking the philosophy of the blockchain with a lot of interactions that we have with it. For example, when you take MetaMask or Uniswap or any type of dApps or your wallet, etc., basically when you want to make a transaction, you're swapping some money or you're interacting with a dApp or anything, you're basically, the MetaMask is basically sending a request to an untrusted RPC, someone that's running a node somewhere, potentially even themselves, that are running thousands of nodes in their data centers, and you're connecting to them. But how can you actually know that they're not lying to you? When you're connecting to these nodes, how do you know that they're sending you the right data, that they are making you sign the right transactions, etc.? So we're trusting these providers just because we don't have right now the right infrastructure. And this is where the light nodes come in. And there's something that I really like, that one of the best engineers that I know, that is a very cool guy from Starkware, says, Abdelhamid Bakhta, he says, the most important is not to build only technology, but to build philosophy and to build technology on top of this philosophy. And so that's really important to me, and I think to many people in the blockchain ecosystem, because what we're building is not only technology, but it's philosophy for the future of humanity. So there's been a lot of people thinking about that, about what we call stateless Ethereum. So there's a lot of research on that. How can we make the Ethereum blockchain stateless, way lighter, and enable anybody to interact with the blockchain in a trustless manner? So there's a lot of research like virtual tries and other things that would enable that in the near future. And for example, the Porter network on Ethereum, Helios or Get, which are already running like clients on Ethereum. So what is Beerus? Beerus is open source, fast, secure, reliable, trustless, lightweight, and portable Starknet light client. Yeah, it's a lot of words, but it's a very cool project. So we're fully open source. I'm very, very proud to have this enormous community. Now we have more than 200 people on the Telegram, only builders, very, very smart guys and girls. It's a real pleasure to have them with us. We have more than 40, 50 contributors on the repo, just people working really, really hard to make it happen every day, and we're just fully open source. So if someone's here wants to contribute, we're really open to that, and it's always a pleasure for myself to onboard you and take you through like good first issues and stuff like that. It's fast, secure, and reliable. We're fully written in Rust, which I think is a really, really good language. It's very fun. There's a steep learning curve, but don't worry, you'll make it on the other side. It's blazingly fast, like my friend the Primogen would say, and it's very, very secure. It's lightweight and portable. Basically, using Rust, we're WebAssembly and no standard library compatible, which means that you can basically run Beerus, the light client, and interact with the blockchain on anywhere. So you could run it like on your phone, on your wallet, on your browser, on your car, on your smart toaster if you want. I don't really care, to be honest. You can run it anywhere, and that's the real power of the light client, because you now have the opportunity. It opens enormous doors like Internet of Things and all of that. There's enormous opportunities that are brought by light clients now. Where before, you could potentially use MetaMask on your phone. Yeah, you can. But who are you actually trusting to sign your transactions and to send you back data? And you're actually trusting a centralized node provider. And so Infura, Alchemy, all these things, they make no sense in terms of philosophy for the blockchain right now. So our infrastructure is pretty simple. Beerus Core is basically a wrapper for the Helios client and a Starknet full node. And I'm going to explain a little bit deeper why this is like that. And then the API for the user to be able to interact with it is basically a JSON RPC and WASM.js connector. So I want to explain a little bit about what is the magic, like what is actually Beerus doing under the hood. To explain to you, I'm firstly going to explain what is the architecture of the Starknet blockchain. So you have Ethereum L1 that's running as Ethereum, the layer 1 solution that we all know and love. And then we built Starknet on top. And basically what people do, they make a lot of transactions on the network. All these transactions go to the mempool. From there, the sequencer receives these transactions, he validates all these transactions, he creates blocks, and then when the block is created, he basically sends this block to the prover. The prover issues a proof of that block, and then the prover sends that proof to the Ethereum L1 contract of Starknet. If this contract says, yes, okay, everything is good, the proof is valid, then what happens is basically that the sequencer is going to send what we call the state diff to the Starknet contract on layer 1. The state diff is basically, okay, this is the state of Starknet at time A. This is the state difference, so it's like, how can we go from state A to state B? So we use what we call a state transition function, which is basically, there's block n plus 1. How do you go from block n to block n plus 1? It's using the state diff, and the state transition function is basically you're applying this data to the previous block to make it this new block. And so basically, now you understand that it means that the whole data of Starknet is basically on Ethereum. So the whole state of the Starknet blockchain is contained on Ethereum. So you can recompute the whole Starknet blockchain from Ethereum. And this is what we do. Basically, it means that we can make sure that a layer 2 Starknet full node is actually saying the truth by checking if the data has actually been posted and validated on Ethereum layer 1. So that's exactly what we show here. So we request a block by hash, for example, from a Starknet full node. It returns the block. We request a storage proof, for example, using Herodotus or any other storage proof provider from layer 1. It returns the proof. And then we just compare the data and just make sure that it's valid. And if it's valid, we just say, yeah, great, it's very cool. And if it's not valid, then we throw an error or we enable any app to manage these things. And so we can make sure that we're actually returning valid data to the user, which means that you can have a trustless access to any wallet, DApp, anything in the blockchain ecosystem. And I think this is truly the future of the blockchain ecosystem, and that's definitely where we're going towards. So yeah, it's very, very cool. We already have the JSON RPC that's already like fully compatible with Starknet and Ethereum. So we have 46 RPC endpoints, and it's working pretty well. We still have a little bit of work to do on them. So as I said, open source contributors, always happy to onboard you guys, and always happy to do a lot of work with you guys, because it's truly incredible. WASM, we already have the WASM version of Beerus running. There's even people working on integrating it in macOS or so on Apple Store and things like that. So you can just download the Beerus app and just run it on your phone, which I think is really, really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of work going on and is getting more and more portable. So yeah, so slowly to recap, what is the powers of Beerus? The powers of Beerus, you can run it anywhere. WASM, you can run it on your browser. It opens an enormous doors for IoT. So you can run it on your car, on your smart toaster, on your washing machine, I don't know, anywhere you want, man. And you can actually enable all these devices to connect to the blockchain in a secure way. And that's incredible to me. So yeah, that's really cool. And then you can also run it in your MetaMask or anywhere. So that's also really cool. There's very cheap gas fees and account abstraction. I haven't implemented that. That's the really cool guys at Starkware. They just made a really, really cool blockchain with native account abstraction and very cheap gas fees because we're a layer 2 scaling solution and we're using zk. So yeah, and it's fully open source and we're using Rust. So it's very, very performant and blazingly fast. And so that also means that we can do really cool things thanks to Starknet. Because let's say you wanted to do some things that would be limited right now on Ethereum because it costs too much to send transactions and just use it every day. Let's say in the future, in the near future, I believe, let's say you want to go to the gas station and you plug in your Tesla and you just want to get a little bit of electricity or something. Then what you can have is basically the Beerus Lite client running inside your Tesla. And at the moment you unplug, basically it sends a transaction from under Starknet like ecosystem directly to Tesla, and it pays for your electricity. And so you didn't have to take out your card and do anything. You can directly do it automatically using the Beerus Lite client in your car. So that's pretty cool. So very cool examples, a little bit like I said, local verification. You can trustlessly connect to MetaMask or any type of browser, like a browser extension or any type of DApp. We're talking and working really hard with the Argent-X team to be able to integrate Beerus in a very near proof of concept inside Argent-X. And the Argent-X team are very cool guys. They're very like forward-looking, and we're also waiting for this type of innovation. So maybe soon. Almost 100% of people using Starknet will have Beerus directly on their wallet, so we will touch like 100% of people on Starknet. So that's pretty cool, and you will not even see it. You will not know it, but you will have Beerus embedded, and that's the real cool part about it. An enormous world of IoT, as I said many times, you can put it anywhere. So what's the roadmap? Beerus version 1 is coming pretty soon. With the verified data using storage proofs. real world use. So basically we're in connection with different pretty cool VCs and pretty cool companies that really want to integrate Beerus and light clients in their hardware. I won't say names for legal purposes, but they're pretty big companies, and they're really interested in going into blockchain, but they didn't really have the software or the knowledge to be able to do it. But now we're trying to bring this expertise to them and try to integrate some of our tech inside these hardware. So potentially soon you'll use your microphone and there will be Beerus in it. Just kidding. And then start-proof syncing. Start-proof syncing is basically you could instantly sync any type of node using start-proofs almost instantly, and that's really cool. And very soon will be the most used node on the Ethereum, on the Starknet network, I hope, and I'm almost sure of that. In conclusion, I just think I just want to thank, firstly, the incredible people that have accompanied me in this journey. We've had an incredible ride up to now. Very cool developers, very cool engineers, very cool people. So feel free to contact me and just join us to try to build the future of Starknet and just the future of the blockchain. So yeah, incredible times, incredible moments, incredible technology, and let's keep Starknet strange, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. If you sync with the L1, does it mean that you have latency about the last block you can prove? Typically, you need to wait for the Starknet prover to prove the block and then push the proof, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have like a latency slot in the sense that the proof is not settled like every second on L1, right? So we're not able to prove the latest data. So we need to be sure that the proof has been settled on L1, validated on L1, and that it's correct. So we actually definitely have this latency, but in the future, it's getting faster and faster and faster. So potentially right now, we need to wait a little bit, but in the near future, with the big evolutions that we're having on Starknet, for example, if you watch like 0.12, aka more TPS daddy, and other things like that, we're having incredible like evolutions on Starknet, and so the proof are going to be settled faster and faster and faster. So right now we have this small limitation, but we're building like forward thinking, and so it's not going to be a problem at all. Thank you very much.